Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to screencast using a really simple method called Screencastify. This is a Google Chrome extension, so you need to be using Chrome to be able to access this product. Really simple, really easy to use. Here I am on the Screencastify website, which you can find by going to screencastify.com. And when on the website, you can see they've got this button down here. All I need to do is click that, and that's going to take me into the Chrome Web Store. So, like I said, Screencastify is an extension. I'm just going to add that to Chrome. And if you're not sure what an extension is, these little buttons up the top here will do a variety of different things. When I click on them, they'll open things up. So you can see Screencastify is an extension. It's been added to my Chrome, and whenever I'm logged into Chrome, then I'll be able to see that little button and I'll be able to access it. When I'm using Screencastify for the first time, I need to make a few arrangements. So I'm just going to tap on that little button. It's going to ask me to sign in with Google. I have the option here to save videos automatically to my Google Drive, so that's a great thing to check. I'm going to sign in just using my school login details. If I'm already logged onto Chrome, I won't even need to type any of that in. It'll ask me to give permissions to use the camera and microphone on my computer and drawing an annotation tool. So I'm going to click next and then allow that. You might see the light on your webcam light up for a second there. And now I've been given the indication that I'm ready to start recording. So when I'm ready to start to record a screencast, all I have to do now is go up. I don't need to be on this web page. I can turn that off, turn that off. So I might be wanting to screencast from this slideshow. I'm going to click on that. It's going to ask me, do I want to just record the desktop? Do I want to record the webcam only? So that would just be an image of me talking to the camera, or browser tab. So it'll have the screen and then it'll have a little video of me in the corner. It'll ask me what microphone I want to use. I've got my headphones in right now, and that's not a bad microphone, so I'm going to select that one. Otherwise, it'll use the microphone built into your computer, which can be pretty tinny, but normally it'll do the job. If you've got a better microphone, you can plug that in and use that. And if you want to record the webcam, you need to check that tick box there, and it'll ask you what camera you want to use, and it'll be the built-in camera into your computer. What you can also see at the top here is that if you're using Screencastify for free, then you have a 5-minute limit per video, which is fine. It's something you just need to work around. 5-minute videos are best for your students because you don't want to give them too much information. If you need to go for longer than that, you can just break your lessons up into components, part 1, part 2, part 3. And when I'm checked all those boxes, I can start recording. So now I'm currently recording. You can see my little picture pop up in the corner there. I've been given a 3-second countdown and I am ready to go. Okay, so over on the left-hand side here, you can see my toolbar. I've got a pause recording button there, so that is what it says. I can pause recording and I can resume recording. I've got mouse options. I've got this focus mouse mode. So if I was wanting to highlight something on the screen, I can check that, and then wherever I drag my mouse, it'll give this little flashlight box, which draws attention to the certain things that you're trying to point out on the screen. I've got this hide cursor when not moved button, which when I check that, if I stop moving the mouse, it'll disappear and reappear when I start to move it again. I've also got this highlight clicks button. If that's highlighted, then when I click the mouse, you can see this little red circle appear, which kind of indicates if I'm giving a tutorial on some software or something, and it'll show when I'm clicking the button. I've also got a pen that I can use, allows me to draw on the screen and highlight certain parts of the image. I can change the color of that pen to highlight various things. I can use that to write with. Kind of a bit tricky if you're using a trackpad, so you might want to get a mouse if you're going to be doing that. Next to that is the eraser, so I can use that to delete any of the pen that I have put on the screen, or there's this box over here if I want to delete everything. I have this button here to add or remove my image from the screen, and I've got this button here which will hide the toolbar. So if I click that, my toolbar's gone. If I want to access it again, I can just go back up the top to my web extension button, click that, and it'll bring back up these options here, which I can use to pause the recording, restart the recording, or if I'm finished, I'm going to check that box there, which will stop the recording. As soon as I stop the recording, it'll take me to this page where I can do a little bit of editing. It's very limited when you're in the free version of the software, but it's fine. You can download your recording as an MP4. So if you have access to video editing software, then you can do a bit more with that. There's no need to pay for the software unless you need it. We'll just skip the tour here. So you can see here, if I want to trim the either end of my clip, I can do that. And sometimes you know, at the start of your clip, you might just clear your throat or something. So that might be an opportunity to just to trim that and get rid of certain parts of your clip. But basically that's it. It's just you've got your whole clip there. There's not much more you can do in the way of editing. Over on the right here, I've got a number of options to then get that video to my students. You can see here that I can share this to Classroom. I can publish it immediately to YouTube, or I can get an embed code, which is good if you've got a website that you wanted to embed this video in. If I check that, I can send directly into an email, or I can generate a QR code that I could get my students to use their phones to be able to access that content. If I want the physical file that I've just created, I have these options here. If I just click download, that's going to download that as a WebM format, or the file will be a .webm, which is just a compressed file format. You can open that using VLC Player. It's just a very compressed file format, so it'll be pretty pixelated, or I can export it here as an MP4. If I click that option, I'll just check that box and export that, and that'll download that directly to my computer as an MP4 file, which I can then edit, or it'll open up on my computer, and again in VLC or in QuickTime if you're using a Mac like I am. It's just that's a bigger file, so it won't be as compressed and pixelated, and that's another way that you can share these videos with your students.